Al Leiter joining us here on the show. How are you, Al?
Hello, Rich. It's been a while. Probably the World Series. How are you guys doing?
I am.
So you're not bearing down on the Netherlands Team Israel matchup.
Hey, look, Staten Island's own Jason Marquis with the start for Team Israel. I'm paying attention. I'm locked in.
3-0 through the pool, moving on to the second round.
How
going
about
to Tokyo?
How about that? I mean, if they keep it up for 5 more nights, it's almost close to the miracle of Hanukkah, Al. That was an 8-day miracle.
I was watching Ike Davis and a couple of the guys. I mean, they got a handful of big leaguers for sure. You mentioned about Jason Marquis, but they got Mensch on the bench. Yeah, they got a big like puffy doll that sits on the bench. It's
like
funny.
The elf on a shelf?
No, exactly. It's a Mensch on the bench. Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. So what you tell me what we should be talking about, Al, because all of us in the national media want to talk about Tebow going to the wrong to the wrong on deck circle. Is that low hanging fruit? Is that the low-hanging fruit here?
You know what? This time of the year, right? I mean, what are we looking at? We got the WBC. Guys are still getting their work in and getting, whatever they've been working on in December and January. Players that want improvement or change a stance or, a different pitch. That's where we are, and that's the extent of it. So if you're talking about Tim Tebow thinking that it was a good idea to go to the other batter's box so you can look at the pitcher, why not?
Well, he said he didn't know the difference, actually, while we're actually on the subject. He said that he thought that's – is that why he went to the other batter's box to go get a better look at the other on-deck circle?
On-deck circle.
And MSG, for whatever reason. I went back in time.
That's going back away.
I know that. Yes Network. I love you on Yes Network. So I didn't talk about this with Darling the other day when we were talking baseball. I didn't talk about the Yankees at all. How do they look this year, Al?
The Yanks?
Yeah. How do they look?
Listen, I think, to me, a couple stories there. Gary Sanchez, who just hit his third home run yesterday, what a heck of a story that was, right? He gets called up. He was only up for a handful of games, got plenty of Rookie of the Year votes. I really am intrigued, Rich, as to what Major League pitching coaches, the scouting, and Major League pitchers do to a guy that really looked like nobody could get him out. Power, average, all of that. He's great behind home plate. So far, he really hasn't missed a beat, and I know it's only spring training. The big thing for me and the Yankees this year is, who steps up consistently in the pitching rotation. I know you got CC Sabathia, more on the tail end of his career, and I know he wants to play more than just there. But Luis Severino is a guy that I'm looking at close because he does have that plus stuff across the board, fastball, slider, change, but he's got to be more consistent. And I think really that's kind of where I look. But it's a balance of young and older players. And I think I heard Joe Girardi say the other day, and he's right. Instead of just talking about the baby bombers of the Judges or the Birds or the Sanchez and others, what will Ellsbury do? Does he stay healthy, and does he play like Jacoby Ellsbury or Gardner or Chase Headley, Starlin Castro? So I think they're intriguing. I really do. They got Chapman back. The Red Sox are the premier team in that division, and probably even Toronto. But I think the Yanks definitely could be in the mix. Put it this way, Rich. I think the Yankees. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 88 games, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won 78. Well, I think it's kind of that swing.
Well, 88 would definitely put them in a wild card chase without a doubt. But in the American League, it's Cleveland, right? With Edwin and Encarnacion joining them, would you say that they are the front runners?
I'm going to say Cleveland and the Red Sox. I know that David Price came up with a little bit with the elbow soreness, and thankfully for them, it wasn't the dreaded Tommy John. No question what Chris Sale means to that rotation, along with the reigning Cy Young Award winner Porcello, and I like Pomerantz and Rodriguez. So I think that's intriguing. But I'm with you. The fact that Edwin Encarnacion is now, and they needed offense, the rotation is great in Cleveland. It's probably as the premier in the clubhouse, Red Sox, Cleveland, American League, ALCS kind of thing.
That said, Al Leiter, I give you the Cubs versus the field. Who do you take right now?
Yeah, is Matt Harvey going to emerge as Matt Harvey? Does Syndergaard take it to another level? What do they get out of DeGrom? I like their pen. I think Cespedes is a beast. I know David Wright got hurt. The rotation, Rich, is so good that, again, it is a health issue. But the Mets, to me, should compete. I think L.A. is interesting. I think what they've accumulated with a lot of good talent, and anybody leading the rotation with Kershaw, I like it. Really, but I'm with you. I think the Cubs have put themselves in position, Theo Epstein and his crew, that this is going to be a little bit of a run of about a 3 or 4 year window where they're going to dominate. I really think I see that happening. Can somebody bump them off? Yeah, Dodgers. Sure. I really like what the Mets are doing. Let's see what the Nationals. I'm not sure Strasburg. He's going to be coming from the stretch the whole time. What do they get out of the pen? I'm not sure. So there's some storylines, no question.
But it's interesting you went Mets first before Dodgers. You think the Mets have if Harvey, as you said, who I've heard is healthy and fit and focused. These are the 3 words that I've heard coming out of St. Lucie. I don't know if people are just trying to sell me anything, but you go Mets over Dodgers maybe as a team that has the best chance to knock off the Cubs?
I think yes, and I think because of what we're talking about, I think if Matt Harvey comes back from the thoracic outlet syndrome surgery that he had, and DeGrom is healthy, and I didn't even mention Steven Matz, who talking to guys like Frank Viola, who's been in the minor leagues pitching coach, and others, like they love this kid. So, I think the Mets are in there. I mean, you look in the Central, what did the Cardinals do? I know that they had disappointment in the rotation. Pittsburgh, this could be like kind of the last run there. I think they're an intriguing – this is another team, I'll tell you what, baseball fans out there, Colorado Rockies. And it's always been about their pitching, Rich. But what do they get? And this offense is fantastic. You talk about around the horn. I mean, Nolan Arenado, I think, has been purely under the radar for a long time and deserves some more MVP mention. But Trevor Story, what he was able to do, and Blackmon, and they have a nice offense. But what are they going to get a chat with? They have young pitchers. Jonathan Gray, I like a lot. Tyler Anderson, a little lefty. Chad Bettis. I don't know if it's enough. But they're going to rattle some cages out there in the West of San Francisco and the Dodgers for sure.
I go so far back when I was at ESPN, Al, not to sound like I'm an old graybeard here, but I remember when they put the humidor in Coors Field. I remember that they were just running out of options. They just had to figure something out.
Yeah. Well,
to help those pitchers.
Well, I don't know how much it really helped. I think it has. I mean, perhaps, but that place stinks. I can tell you this, Rich. When I go in there and pitch, with the Mets and Marlins and National League, my whole idea was I want to get out of here with a win, and I don't care if I give up 7. And thank God I only have to pitch 1 game here. I mean, there's such a mental disadvantage to anybody pitching there. I can't imagine having to pitch, 15, 20 starts a year there.
Who was the guy when you were pitching night before? It was tough to close your eyes and not think about I got to face this guy tomorrow. Who
in Colorado?
No, just in general. I'm just anybody that you.
Tony Gwynn wore me out. I enjoyed, because of my style of pitching, lefties, believe it or not. I used to cut the ball in on the righties, and the bigger they were, I liked facing them, McGuire and Sosa and those guys. It didn't matter because I bored in. But Tony Gwynn, this was the scouting report, Rich, to Tony Gwynn, and I'm not kidding you.
Sure.
We would go through it, and it was like, guys, keep the first 2 guys off base. Tony Gwynn's going to hit it hard 4 times in his at-bats and keep him in the ballpark. That honestly, he was truly the hitter that wherever you threw it and whatever pitch you threw, he was going to barrel it up and hit it hard somewhere. Didn't mean he was going to get a hit. And I'll be darned, Rich, it was true. He was special. I got a chance to play with Don Mattingly, and I pitched against Wade Boggs, and I only saw a guy like Rod Carew, from TV, but Tony Gwynn was an amazing hitter.
I remember, Al, in the World Series the Padres made against the Yankees the year the Yankees had 125 wins after sweeping them. That game 1 in Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium, that was dicey. I remember it was very dicey, and Gwynn homered in that game in his first World Series appearance in the old Yankee Stadium, and I covered it. I'll never forget seeing it with my own 2 eyes. It was incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. What a series. And Langston, to this day...
he threw a strike, didn't he?
He threw a strike. Tito got an extra pitch.
3-2, man. That 3-2 pitch, it looked like it oh, my gosh, right? Was that a 2-2 pitch? It led to 3-2.
If I could only bring back pitches, Rich, I'd have been really good.
Al, you're the best. Next time you come on, I don't even want to talk current stuff. I want to go down memory lane with you. I just you've got so much.
I don't even want to do it. I know you have to go, but I was there with you as an active player, doing some tidbit, TV stuff for ESPN back then.
Back in what, 98? Back in
98 World Series. I was doing a little baseball tonight, whatever, how they do active player.
Yeah.
and I made a big impression on you because you didn't know I was there.
Well, no, I was. I was. If you were doing it World Series, I was. I was at the stadium, Al. But I do. Come on, I remember going way back with you, with Kay and everybody.
Oh no, I'm kidding. No, I love you. All right, sounds good. I hope you guys are doing well.
We're great, Al. You take care.
Listen all the time.
Thanks, bud. You too. Thanks. It's Al Leiter.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.